This week, as a Wisconsin court begins a trial involving a protest of police abuse that turned deadly when Kyle Rittenhouse opened fire on protesters, the Supreme Court will consider whether the Second Amendment bars states from limiting the carrying of guns in public. The right asserted in New York State Rifle and Gun Association v. Bruen is the right to bear arms, but the case's resolution will have major repercussions for First Amendment rights as well. A healthy democracy depends on robust public debate. That's why the First Amendment guarantees people the right to assemble, associate and speak out, even when their messages may be upsetting or controversial. Self-government, as Justice Antonin Scalia wrote, sometimes requires people to endure harsh criticism and requires civic courage, without which democracy is doomed. But if the Second Amendment guaranteed everyone the right to carry guns in public, people would have to worry that the response to their speech might be not more speech but deadly force. Many people would reasonably decide that the only safe thing to do in such situations is to keep quiet. So recognizing unrestrained Second Amendment rights would compromise First Amendment freedoms. That's why we think states should have the discretion to limit the carrying of guns to promote the safety of the public square and facilitate the freedoms of assembly and speech exercised there. New York did precisely that, limiting the right to carry guns for self-defense to those who can show a specific need. This is not an abstract issue. An analysis of more than 30,000 public demonstrations in the U.S. between January 2020 and June 2021 found that protests in which people are armed are more than 6 times as likely to erupt in violence or property destruction as unarmed demonstrations. Studies conducted by the Harvard Injury Control Research Center also show that the presence of guns can escalate arguments into incidents of intimidation and violence, and that more guns in a community make people feel less safe. That's one reason why authorities have long restricted the public carrying of guns. Indeed, the practice dates back centuries under English law. Such laws were commonplace in this country at the time of the Second Amendment's adoption, and there's no evidence that those who wrote and ratified the Second Amendment meant to upend the practice.